Hello everyone, this is Carmen Espinoza and this is my push and pull LAP project. The two learning goals that I created from the science standard, observe that a push or pull can change the way an object is moving, and the nature of science standard, collaborate with a partner to collect information, are using pictures, the push and pull anchor chart, and students' push and pull recording sheet. Students will sort pictures and then classify them into the corresponding force of a push or a pull. Students will collaborate with a partner to classify the illustrations given as a push or a pull. Some of the culturally responsive teaching aspects are, first of all, the teacher-student relationship I have with them. They know that I expect them to just try their very best. The visuals used throughout, including the anchor charts and the pictures they will be sorting. The BrainPop video we started the lesson with closed captioning on. The push and pull game, and the opportunity for them to work with a partner in small group labs and during the whole class discussion. Here is a table that has all 5 components of the 5E lesson for these 2 days, including the classroom activities, the assessment tools, the data, and the inferences that I think I would have gathered. So for day 1, I would have only completed the engage and the explore phase of the lesson. So during the engage phase, I would have them watch a video about pushes and pulls on BrainPop. And during the video, I would pause and ask probing questions. I would really want them to focus on the word motion, forces, pushes, and pulls. So I would hope that I am just pausing it so they can restate what they had just heard, and I can quickly assess their prior knowledge and determine if they can tell me maybe quickly the difference between a push or a pull and a quick example from the video about a push or a pull. During the engagement piece, after we watched the video, we would quickly review our anchor charts of force and motion, and then we would really focus on push and pull. So I would physically have them pretend that they're on a skateboard and they're pushing the skateboard, and then I would have them pretend that they're pulling a wagon, and I'll ask them for more examples really quick and then review the examples from the video, so that way we can make a quick T-chart that they could have as they're working throughout these 2 days. So the next piece would be the explore piece. And in the explore piece, I only have 14 students, so I would have split my class in half. And so 7 of them would be reading a quick little forces article about push and pull, while the other 7 are working with their partner and they're completing this quick lab. So the lab, they would have to determine if what they did was a push, a pull, and what happened to the object they were moving. So instead of me giving them just a quick picture of a girl pushing a grocery cart, I actually wanted them to do something and discuss what they did and what part of it was a push or what part of it was a pull, and then how do they know that. So they had their partner with them, and then I'm also with them with my 7 students, because I want to make sure that they can read the task cards, that they're doing it, and that they're recording it correctly. And the data that I'm receiving would be the explanations they are giving themselves to their partners and to their group. So here are 3 of the task cards. I made 5 of them, but I would just want to make sure that they're reading it together, and just to avoid all 14 of them doing all this, I just wanted the 7 first. So like the first one would be kick the ball to your partner. Are you pushing or pulling the ball? How is the ball moving? And so the reason why I also wanted a small group, and it's nice to do that since I only have 14 students, is that I can actually make sure every student is participating, every student is discussing with their partner, and they are focused, because once they got to these 2 of the pom-pom launcher and the keyboard, I know they could get off track easily. So I wanted to make sure that I had all eyes on them and the other students were still engaged working at their seats independently. So their recording sheet would be a Venn diagram where they would have push and pull or both. So I would hope that during the task cards, they would notice that 2 of them could be both a push and a pull. So for day 2, we would come back and do the explain piece, elaborate piece, and the evaluate. So the explain piece would be to discuss our answer sheets, what we have for the push and pull recording sheet that we did. And students will participate by discussing and justifying their responses, why they put it there. And I would also want them to discuss the way the object is moving, especially for the two that were both. That way we can really see the difference. We can discuss, we could talk about why did we put them where they did. And so the inferences I would see is, do they understand what a push is? Can they give me other examples of a push or pull? And is it true that some can be both a push and a pull? So in the elaborate piece, we would do a quick push and pull game, but this is for me to really see individually which student understand it and which need some more reteach or just need more practice with this. So it would all I would do is everybody would get a quick little whiteboard with a marker, and I had created a PowerPoint where there's different pictures, and all they would write on their board if it's a push or a pull, and then both, or if it's both, sorry. So I could quickly look over and see everybody's individual responses. And if there is a student that has the wrong answer, I would ask clarifying questions and we could discuss as a whole group. And hopefully my inference would be that they would change the answer if it was wrong and label the picture correctly, if it's a push, pull, or both. And then for my evaluate piece, I would have students write about a push or a pull that they learned. So for some students, I would give them a picture, where others I would have them create one on their own. That way I can differentiate between my levels. And so students will classify the illustration as a push or a pull, and then they would want to tell me more. And then they would even have to draw another picture or a picture that matches. That way they can label what they know. So their science journal writing piece, which is their evaluate piece, would look like this. And I found this rubric and I really liked it because it really helps me to know exactly what I'm looking for. And then I can also review it with them prior to giving them this assessment, because that way they know what I'm looking for too. So for some of my students, I would just give them a picture like this, like these two that have that picture on the bottom, because I want them to draw it again, but they would be labeling, like the girl is pushing the grocery cart, she's pushing it slowly, whatever, with the wheels, it's going away from her, moving closer to her. So those are the terms I would want to see: motion, push, pull, things like that. And then I would hopefully want them to at least write a sentence on it. My students that can't write complete sentences, I would give them sentence stems, or I would just go at what I normally do for some of my students is I go with them, I ask them, what are you trying to write? And then we'll try to write it out. For one of my ESC students, I just write it out with a highlighter, what she said, and then I have her trace it. So that way they're still writing, I'm still capturing exactly what they said and what they understand. And also by using this rubric. So my inferences would just happen every time after each piece. I would want to make sure that they understood that forces can be a push or a pull. Hopefully they understand the difference between the two. And if they're ready, I can move on to more enrichment activities, or some students I may have to push them back and pull them back with me to reteach them some of the parts. Something that I really have noticed is when I give them their partner that they're used to working with, they are able to discuss more, where if I give them a new partner, they might be shy and not do as much talking or discussing as I would want them to. So I hope that I had enough engagement pieces in there and enough time for them to process their thinking as they were working with their partners, as they were working in labs. They have their visuals to support them. And I really hope that they were able to enjoy these 2 days, or would have enjoyed these 2 days, and understand the difference between a push and a pull and the motion that happens with the objects. So I hope you enjoyed my quick video of my LAP project.